We always like to start since, we got into
Politics here on the program at some point.
the biggest political winner. Last year's prediction for biggest political winner for 2025. To remind everybody, Freeberg said young candidates. Well done. Gavin, who was on the show sitting in for Sachs, he said Trump and centrism would be the biggest political winner. Chamath, you said fiscal conservatives. And I said Gen X and elder millennials, the J.D. Vance, Tulsi, Sachs group. I wonder, Freeberg, who you think will be the biggest political winner of 2026. Freeberg, your chance.
Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA, just like the MAGA movement took over the Republican Party, I think the DSA is taking over the Democratic Party, and I think that's the move we'll see solidified in 2026.
Well done. Chamath, who do you got?
Whoever is going to fight waste, fraud, and abuse.
At the federal, state, and local level.
Got it. So it's an open lane to anybody.
It's an open lane. It's a political
gambit that I think will work really well in 26.
David Sachs, gosh, I can't imagine who you would pick as a political winner in 2026.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm going to say that the Trump boom is going to be the biggest political winner of 2026.
A good economic news to start breaking out before 2025 is even over. We have 2.7% inflation.
Pick your GDP for this boom year. 3, 4, 5, or 6 points. Pick a 3, 4, 5, 6.
If you make it a prediction, then I'd like to pick as well.
Okay, I'm going to go Sachs first.
I'm going to go for 5%.
Ooh.
Within a rounding error, I believe 5%.
Sure. Plus or minus. Chamath, you want to pick a number? You said you did.
I think the lower bound is 5. I think the upper bound is 6.2.
Wow.
Incredible. Well,
Freeberg, do you want to take a stab at that?
2026 growth?
Yeah.
4.6%.
Okay, I was going to go with between 4 and 5 as well. In terms of my prediction for the big political winner, I went back and forth between the Emperor's Apprentice, Darth Vance, J.D. Vance, or the Mandami moment. I said now.
That was like 3 different answers right there.
My answer is clearly Mandami. My second place, though, I like to always explain my thinking, is
Darth Vance.
J.D. Vance. Biggest political loser. Last year's predictions, I said Putin. Gavin said Putin. Chamath, you said progressivism. And Freeberg, you said the pro-war neocons would be the biggest political losers. Let's get into who we think will be the loser this year. Sachs, why don't you start? Who's your big political loser in 2026, you think?
Democratic centrism.
Got it. Chamath, what do you got?
Can I just go back and just nitpick with you a little bit?
What I would say is the biggest loser of 26 is the Monroe Doctrine. I think that when historians look back on the Trump presidency, they're going to rewrite it. I think people have tried to minimize Trump's worldview as a Trump corollary. I don't think that's what this is.
Freeberg, your biggest loser, 2026.
The tech industry. I think AI and tech wealth have become the lightning rod for populism on both sides of the aisle. The right is fracturing a bit, where this, call it, alliance between tech and MAGA seems to be getting a really strong challenge from the more populist movement. The left is turning hard on tech because of tech's alignment with the right. And so I think we're going to see in the midterms a really big referendum against the tech industry coming out of this populist movement.
That's a great one. Can I tell you guys a little story from yesterday?
I had a meeting with 3 very senior sitting senators before I flew back to California. These are Republican senators. And Freeberg, I was surprised exactly what you said. There is a couple of companies that have exacerbated their frustration. They view those companies, these are techs and the tech leaders of these companies, as just not trustworthy. And
they've largely been grin-f***ing these guys for a long time.
For me, I was going back and forth in my biggest political loser with these dopey Democrats who are centrists and the new neocon Trump. Now, I don't know if Trump will continue these neocon ways, so I'm going to just align with Sachs here that the centrist Democrats are going to be this year's biggest political losers.
Now that you've mentioned twice that Trump is a neocon, I have to respond to this.
No, you don't. You don't have to. Biggest business winner for 2025. Looks like Freeberg picked robots and autonomous hardware, year of the robot. I think if you include robotaxi there, you nailed it. Certainly next year will be the year of Optimus, 2027. Chamath, you said dollar-denominated stable coins. Spot on. Gavin, shout out to our friend Gavin, he said big businesses that use AI thoughtfully. Another great one. I picked Tesla, which is at an all-time high, and Google, which of all of the Mag 7
crushed.
Who do you have, Freeberg, as your biggest business winner prediction for 2026? Go ahead, Freeberg.
My number one is Huawei, which I've mentioned in the past out of China. I think Huawei's effort to partner with SMIC to go deeper in the chip stack, keep an eye on Huawei over the next year. It's going to outperform expectations, at least the Western expectations. And the second is Polymarket, really providing insights into current events and the news in a way that none of us anticipated. But I do think that prediction markets could become not just markets, but also news. And I think Polymarket's just in such a position to have a breakout year.
Okay, great one. Chamath, biggest business winner for 2026 after yourself. Who do you got?
Yeah, it's hard.
I mean, I will pick me.
Yep, we knew that.
It's already done.
We knew that was coming.
It's already in the books.
Don't hurt your elbow. Don't hyperextend your elbow.
Already in the book, so
Okay, it's all downhill from here. I will pick copper. The asset that is set up to go absolutely parabolic is copper.
Sachs, what do you got? Biggest business winner of 2026, your prediction.
I said the IPO. I think 2026 is going to be a big year for IPOs. I'm not going to say which ones. I think there's going to be a bunch of them, a bunch of successful ones. And I think we could see trillions of dollars of new market cap created of public companies.
My prediction for 2026 is that Amazon is going to have a massive year.
Interesting.
As they continue to replace humans with robots. That's why. What do you got this year, Freeberg? Who do you think is going to be the biggest business loser of this year?
I think the state governments are going to have a real problem with finding financing.
Chamath, who's your loser 2026?
I will pick the software industrial complex. So these are the companies that sell licensed SaaS to the corporations of America.
Who do you got, Sachs, for your biggest business loser of 2026 prediction?
For me, we already talked about this, but it was California because of the wealth tax and also the onerous regulations driving business and capital out of the state.
And I went with young white-collar workers in America. I think they're going to be the biggest business loser. I think it's getting really hard for them to get entry-level jobs. I'm seeing that all over the place. Let's go with the biggest deal. What do you have as your biggest deal for 2026, David Sachs?
I think there was a breakthrough in the last couple of months in terms of these coding assistants, where they've been around for a while, but there seems to have been another level of quality achieved just in the last month or so.
Freeberg, what do you got? Biggest deal.
Russia, Ukraine. I think it's going to settle out this year. I think there's a lot of motivating factors to get it settled out this year, economic and other political factors. But I do think it's going to settle out this year, and it's going to bring a bit more stability to that region. And
what do you got?
It's not a specific deal, but it's an approach. I think that M&A cannot happen. And so it's the IP license M&A workaround. And I think you're going to see hundreds of billions of dollars of these kinds of deals.
You know, for 2026, I think we're going to see some massive M&A. It doesn't matter to me how it occurs, but I do think we're going to see a 50 billion plus deal. And I think it could be one of the Mag 7, an Apple, a Meta, a Microsoft, or an Amazon going out and trying to buy XAI, Mistral, Perplexity, Anthropic, one of those four. Most contrarian belief. People like this one. I said OpenAI loses its lead in the AI race. And in fact, that has happened if you look at the arenas and you look at their market share. Chamath, you said the banking crisis in one of the major mainline banks. Gavin said 1 year of 5% plus GDP growth at one point over the next couple of years. Well done to Gavin. Freeberg, you said socialism roars back. Another amazing prediction. What's your prediction for this year since you crushed it last year, Freeberg? Go ahead.
I think there is going to be this revolution in Iran and the Ayatollahs are going to be out. That's not the contrarian belief. I think that's the standard belief. And I think that is going to happen. And that's the premise.
Sachs, you got a contrarian belief for 2026?
Yes. I said that AI will increase demand for knowledge workers, not decrease it. I would refer you to Aaron Levy's post called Jevons Paradox for Knowledge Workers. And the point of Jevons Paradox is that as the cost of a resource goes down, the aggregate demand for it actually increases because you discover more and more use cases.
Chamath, what's on your contrarian belief?
Gosh, I have two.
Number one is I don't think SpaceX will IPO. I think that it will reverse merge into Tesla.
Oh my God, I love that. Wow. Well, he's talked about that. The second is that
I think the central banks will realize there are limitations to gold and limitations to Bitcoin and will, as a result, seek out a completely new cryptographic paradigm that is tradable and that is completely secure and private.
And for my contrarian, I was thinking about going with OpenAI losing their lead and not being the number one company again. Best performing asset. Best performing asset. What do you got for this year's best performing asset, Friedberg?
Polymarket. Polymarket's on a tear. Network effects, replacing media, replacing markets.
I would pick a basket of critical metals.
Okay. Basket of critical metals. What do you got, Sachs?
It's getting a little bit redundant for me, but I just said the expanding super cycle in tech.
Best performing asset will be the Robinhood Polymarket Prize Picks Gambling. Okay, let's move on to the worst performing asset predictions for 2026. Who do you got? Sachs, worst performing asset of 2026.
Well, I just said California luxury real estate because of the overhang of the wealth tax and all the things we're talking about.
Yeah. Chamath, what do you think? Worst performing asset?
Hydrocarbons. I just think that the trend in oil is inexorable.
Okay. I went with the US dollar in different permutations of how you can buy it because our debt continues to grow unabated.
It would be Netflix if they don't close the Warner Brother deal. I do think Netflix's service is being challenged from all sides with deep content libraries.
Most anticipated trend of 2026, Friedberg.
Iran becoming an independent democratic state, I think.
Wow. Okay. Sachs, what do you got?
Auditing government spending at all levels.
Love. Yes.
Let 1,000 Nick Shirleys bloom.
Love.
Let's do it.
Audit everything.
What do you got, Chamath?
I have a corollary to Friedberg's, which is I think it's the expansion of this Trump doctrine.
All right. Fun one we like to do is the most anticipated media. That's a fun one, you know? What are you looking forward to in 2026?
I do think the big trend in media is going to be this citizen journalism doing exposés.
Well, the new Christopher Nolan movie's coming out, The Odyssey. Looks interesting.
Great call.
So,
Great call.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Great call.
Same. Smash the like button, comment, link, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Write a review.